Before we dive in, if this topic speaks to your soul, please follow this channel, give this video a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. It truly helps us reach more people who are searching for answers. Now, let's get into it. Asterisk, have you ever woken up after a full night of sleep and still felt completely exhausted? Not physically tired, but empty. Like something invisible has been quietly draining the life out of you, and no matter how much you rest, eat well, or try to think positively, you just can't seem to fill back up. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone, and more importantly, you are not broken. What you're experiencing has a name. It's called spiritual depletion, and it's far more common than most people realize. In today's world, we talk endlessly about mental health and physical wellness. But the conversation about our spiritual energy, the deepest, most essential part of who we are, is one that gets left behind. And that silence is costing people their joy, their purpose, and their peace. Today, we're going to break that silence. We're going to look at what spiritual draining really is, why it happens, who and what is taking your energy, and most importantly, how to get it back. Stay with me all the way to the end, because what I'm about to share could genuinely change your life. Asterisk, what does it mean to be spiritually drained? First, let's be clear about what we're talking about. Spiritual energy isn't just a religious concept. Whether you follow a faith tradition, consider yourself spiritual but not religious, or simply believe in the human soul, your spiritual energy is the core vitality that drives your sense of meaning, connection, passion, and inner peace. When that energy is depleted, you start to notice certain signs. You feel disconnected from yourself, from others, from the things that used to matter to you. You go through the motions of daily life, but nothing feels real or fulfilling. You might feel a constant low-grade sadness, a sense that something is missing, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Creativity dries up, compassion becomes harder to access. You feel like you're just surviving, not living. Some people describe it as feeling like a phone that's always on 1% battery, technically still on, but barely functioning, and one small thing away from shutting down completely. Sound familiar? Then keep watching, because this is exactly what this video is for. Asterisk, the hidden causes of spiritual depletion. Here is what most people don't understand. Spiritual draining rarely happens all at once. It's a slow leak, not a sudden flood, and it usually comes from several directions at the same time. Living out of alignment with your true self. Of the biggest and most overlooked causes of spiritual exhaustion is living a life that doesn't match who you truly are. When your daily choices, your career, your relationships, or your habits conflict with your deepest values, your spirit pays the price. Every day you spend pretending to be someone you're not, suppressing what you truly feel, or chasing goals that don't actually matter to you. That's energy leaving your body and not coming back. The world tells us what success should look like, what our relationships should look like, what we should want. And when we spend years chasing someone else's version of a good life, we slowly lose ourselves. The exhaustion you feel might not be about doing too much. It might be about doing too much of the wrong things. Asterisk, energy vampires in your life. Not every drain is internal. Some of the biggest threats to your spiritual energy are the people around you. Energy vampires, a term that's become popular for good reason, are individuals who, intentionally or not, leave you feeling drained every time you interact with them. They might be chronic complainers, manipulators, people who constantly need rescuing, or individuals who bring negativity, chaos, and conflict wherever they go. The tricky part: sometimes energy vampires are people we love, a parent, a partner, a close friend. That makes it even harder to recognize what's happening, because we feel guilty for feeling drained by someone we care about. But guilt doesn't change the reality. Some relationships take far more than they give, and your spirit knows it even when your mind tries to rationalize it away. Asterisk, unprocessed grief, trauma, an emotion. Your spirit carries everything you haven't fully processed. Grief that was never mourned, anger that was never expressed, hurt that was pushed down and told to be quiet. Over time, these unresolved emotions become like heavy stones in a backpack you carry everywhere you go. You might not even consciously remember putting them there, but you feel the weight every single day. Spiritual draining is often the body's way of saying, there is unfinished emotional business here. There is something that needs to be felt, seen, and released. Asterisk, constant noise and disconnection from stillness. We live in the most distracted era in human history. Our phones buzz every few minutes. Social media pulls us into an endless scroll of comparison, outrage, and There is almost no silence left in modern life, and silence is where the spirit breathes. When we are never still, when we are never quiet, when our attention is always being captured by the next notification or the next crisis, we lose touch with our inner world. And when we lose touch with our inner world, we lose touch with our spiritual center. The result: depletion, emptiness, a kind of hollow buzzing where peace used to live. Asterisk, giving without replenishing. Many spiritually drained people are the givers, the helpers, the caregivers of their world. They are the ones everyone calls when something goes wrong. They pour themselves into others, and they do it with love, which makes it even harder to recognize as a problem. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Giving endlessly without ever receiving, without ever taking time to restore yourself, is a direct path to spiritual burnout. And the most loving, giving people are often the ones who are the most depleted, precisely because they never stop long enough to ask, who is filling me up? Asterisk what your spirit is actually trying to tell you here is something powerful to understand. Spiritual depletion is not a punishment. It's a signal. Your soul is extraordinarily intelligent, and when it begins to drain, it is communicating something important, something your everyday mind might be too busy or too afraid to hear. It might be saying, this relationship is not right for you, or this job is killing your purpose, or you have been ignoring your own needs for far too long, or simply, you need to rest, real rest, not just sleep, but deep, nourishing stillness. The worst thing you can do when you feel spiritually drained is to push harder, do more, distract yourself further, or numb the feeling with food, alcohol, social media, or busyness. That approach doesn't refill the tank. It just delays the moment of reckoning and makes the eventual crash harder. Instead, the invitation is to slow down and listen, to sit with the discomfort long enough to hear what it's actually trying to say. Asterisk, how to begin restoring your spiritual energy. Good news, and there is genuinely good news here, is that spiritual energy can be restored. The spirit is remarkably resilient, but restoration requires intention. It doesn't happen by accident. Here's where to begin. Return to what makes you feel alive. Think back to times in your life when you felt genuinely energized, joyful, and connected. What were you doing? Who were you with? What environment were you in? Start making space for those things again, even in small doses. Create boundaries and honor them. This is non-negotiable. Identify the relationships and situations that consistently drain you, and start putting limits on how much access they have to your energy. Boundaries are not walls. They are the container that allows you to stay full enough to actually give from a place of abundance, rather than scarcity. Practice daily stillness. Even 5 or 10 minutes of true quiet, no phone, no music, no input, can begin to rebuild your connection to your inner world. Meditation, prayer, journaling, or simply sitting in nature. These are not luxuries. For a depleted spirit, they are medicine. Process what you've been carrying, whether through therapy, honest conversations, journaling, or spiritual practice. Find a way to move through the grief, hurt, and unresolved emotion that is weighing you down. You don't have to do it all at once, but you do have to start. Asterisk, reconnect with meaning and purpose. Ask yourself the hard question. What actually matters to me? Not what you think should matter. Not what others say should matter. What genuinely gives your life a sense of meaning? Align your time and energy more closely with those things, and watch what happens to your spirit. You are worth protecting. Here's what I want you to leave this video knowing above all else. Your spiritual energy is one of the most precious resources you have. It is the source of your creativity, your compassion, your joy, your resilience, and your ability to love. It deserves to be protected, nurtured, and taken seriously. You would not let someone drain your bank account every month without addressing it. Your spirit deserves the same fierce protection. The world needs people who are spiritually alive, people who are energized, purposeful, and genuinely present. And that starts with you deciding that your inner life matters. That you matter. The fact that you're watching this video, that something in you clicked on it and kept watching, that is your spirit reaching for the light. Honor that. Follow that. Asterisk, if this video resonated with you, please don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is quietly struggling with exactly this, feeling drained, empty, disconnected, and they need to hear that there is a reason, and there is a way through. Share this video with them. It might be exactly what they've been searching for. And if you want more content like this, real, honest conversations about the deeper dimensions of life, energy, purpose, and healing, then follow this channel right now so you never miss an upload. And if this video gave you something valuable today, show us some love with a like. It tells us to keep making content like this, and it helps this message reach more people who need it. You are not spiritually drained because you are weak. You are drained because you are human, you are giving, and no one told you that you needed to refill. Now you know. Take care of your spirit. The world is waiting for the version of you that's fully alive. Asterisk,